y'all, and welcome to today's video. I am going to be going through some of my eyeshadow palettes, and we're going to talk about if I would repurchase these palettes. If these were palettes that launched today, would I be on the website buying these palettes? I think this is really fun. I've done this video a couple of times, but it's been a while since I did this. This video idea was created by Dolly Mama Beauty. Of course, I will have her channel linked down below in the description box, but I think it's really fun and interesting to kind of shop through my stash, pull some palettes from different brands, different type of color stories and formulas, and just talk about what I think of these and if I think they're worth either repurchasing or, again, like if they never existed and they were launched, if I saw them on Instagram today, would I make a purchase? So that's what we're going to do. I have 10 palettes in front of me, lots of different brands, some indie, some mainstream. We're just going to talk about them. And if you're new here, I want to say, hey, my name is Heather and makeup makes me happy. Here at my channel, we don't try to be perfect. We just want to have a good time with our makeup, whatever that means. I do hope that you will subscribe before you leave today because I upload lots of new videos every single week, but we have a good bit to talk about, so let's jump into it. So I have my palettes here in front of me that we're going to talk about. All of these will be linked in the description box if they're still available, because I know for sure I have some that are not available anymore, but I still want to show love to makeup that isn't available for purchase. If it's something you're interested in, maybe you can shop your stash, but I don't only want to talk about makeup that is still something that you're able to buy. You know, I want to show love to my older stuff too, talk about what I like and don't like. So I'll link everything that I can down in the description box. I do have videos on, I think, all or most of these palettes here on my channel. If you want to see up close shots of the palettes, tutorials, swatches, that type of thing. And if I have any discount codes, affiliate codes, anything like that, they'll also be in the description box. So definitely check there. I try to fill up the description box with as much information as possible. But the first palette that I pulled is the LauraLee Los Angeles Whimsical Nudes palette. So this is a newer launch, and I have to say I'm really happy that I bought this palette. This is very muted but earthy colors, and I was really excited when I saw this launch from the brand because aside from their Candy Skies collection that LauraLee did in collaboration with her niece, the brand is overall very neutral. And while this palette does have neutrals, of course, I think it's the type of neutrals that color lovers really enjoy, because we do have some beautiful greens right here. We have these kind of terracotta-y orange type of shades, and the palette does go light to dark, so you can create a dramatic look. I'm really happy with my purchase. If I had not purchased this palette and it launched today, I would definitely buy it. And I'm really interested to see what the brand does in the future, because I thought the formula in here, the mattes were really easy to work with. The shimmers are very sparkly and intense, and I've really enjoyed this palette. I think it's a very easy, effortless palette. I can create something pretty without really having to work for it. The colors pair really nicely together, and yeah, I really like this. I had only tried one palette from her before. I can't remember if it was like Nudie Patootie 1 or 2, but I liked it. But this one is even better in my opinion. I can tell that the quality of the shadows are really like up, and it just makes me excited for what the brand's gonna do in the future. So would I repurchase? Yes. All right, next I pulled Odin's Eye Norns palette. This was actually my favorite Odin's Eye palette for a long time. And this one I love so much because we have deep, dark colors in here. I love that. We have a beautiful red, a sparkly black, this blue teal shade. We also have like multi-chromes, shimmery shades, and then these at the bottom are such sparkly, beautiful shimmers. But I will say, I think think Odin's Eye has really upped their quality since this palette. This palette at the time really blew me away. I'm like, I love, and I still love it, even though I think like their Christmas Eve palettes, their Hella palette, the quality has gone up. If something happened, if I, you know, dropped this palette out of the window and it shattered, I would definitely go on the Odin's Eye website and I would repurchase this, even though it's not a new launch, because I just enjoy it. I'm not sure how much you'll be able to tell here, but I have gotten a ton of use out of this. This shade right here I think is super special and beautiful. It's Optimism, and it's like this silver that leans purple that also leans gold. I think it's just really unique and special. And then again, these shades down here at the bottom I really enjoy too, and I think this palette is something that is just a really special, fun color story, so I would definitely have to repurchase this one as too. Of course, I love the theming as well. I have a couple of videos on this palette. I'm pretty sure I did a video on it and then I came back and did a 3 looks video because I enjoy it that much. I think it's just so beautiful. Okay, next up, I pulled the Urban Decay Wild Greens palette. Now, I have to say, this is really cool in the way the packaging opens. I like this a lot. Okay, I'm so sorry. My camera cut me off. I had to step away. I'm back. Let me think about what I was saying about this palette. So I'm happy that I bought this palette at the time because I wanted to try Urban Decay's formula again, see what they were up to other than the Naked series, and I'm happy I tried it. If this palette were to disappear from my collection right now, I wouldn't go out and repurchase it. I've seen it half off. I'm not sure if it's still available. If it is, I'll link it down below in the description box, but knowing what I know now, I don't think I need this palette. It's pretty, it's good. If you have it, I'm not saying it's no good. It is good, but it's not my favorite, and I don't find myself just wanting to grab this palette, wanting to reach for it, wanting to use it again. It's good, but it's not amazing, and it's definitely not like in the top formulas for me. I am happy I purchased it, but knowing what I know now, do I need this palette? No. All right, Frosted Flakes and Glamlight. I was on the website when this launched. The packaging, so cool. I really like Glamlight eyeshadows. I think they're so good. And when I saw that they were collabing with Frosted Flakes, I knew. If it has white, black, blue, orange, I'm in. I'm gonna buy it. And then they revealed it. I'm like, yes. I was actually out with my family at the launch and I was like, hold on my phone ordering this collection, and I'm so happy I did. It's so gorgeous. If somebody stole this palette, took this palette, I would be ordering it again. I love this. I think this is such a fun color story. I think blue and orange, it's just such a cool contrast, and I love the looks I've created with this. I love seeing other people create looks with this. I think it's just really beautiful, and it's that great Glamlight formula that I love. I love that we have so many sparkly blue shades. We have the sparkly orange and this kind of gold shade. I love the white, the black, the blues, the matte oranges, and there's just enough, if you want to create a neutral look, this shade, this shade, this shade, even the black and the white, pull it in, create a neutral look, you're good to go. Monochromatic orange, monochromatic blue, or mix and match. It's so pretty. I love this. If you love Frosted Flakes, you got Tony the Tiger on here. I would 100% repurchase this palette. I just, like, they nailed it. They nailed the concept, everything about the collection. They did such a good job. Of course I would rebuy this. Okay, here's one that makes me a little sad. This is the Tati Beauty Textured Neutrals Volume 1. Now, Tati Beauty is no longer around, but I'm so happy I bought this palette. I remember when this palette was announced, I kind of debated whether I was going to buy it or not. I wasn't sure. We do have 3 neutral columns right here, and black is a neutral, yeah, but then we have a whole column of orange and a whole column of purpley mauves. This was just a genius concept to me. I have loved this palette so much. I think the formulas are so great, and I love neutral palettes that have some color so you can pull it a colorful way if you want to. And I think the purple mauve tones and the orange tones in here are colors that a lot of people who love neutrals kind of gravitate towards because they're usually fairly easy to work with. And what I love about a neutral palette that has some color is when there's a lot of different textures. That sells me on a palette. If I'm gonna do a neutral look, I wanna have depth and darkness and drama and light colors and different textures. And that's what was so great about this palette is you have mattes with the shimmer, you have a whole row of these metallic shades, and then you have pressed glitters. Now, I'm not always into a pressed glitter. Some pressed glitters that some brands make, I absolutely hate. I'm never telling you to put glitter on your face, on your eyes, in your home. You do you. I liked these glitters though, and I think these glitters were phenomenal. This palette has been on many a trip with me because I feel like I can really do an easy, simple look with this palette, or I can make it super glam with the glitter. They're so, so good. I know that Tati Beauty is no more, but I would love to see a new brand from Tati, honestly, and I would love to see another version of this palette. I know she said she was working on one. It never came to fruition. I understand that, but if you have this palette, don't you love it? I think it's so good. Okay, let's talk about what is on my eyes right now, and that is the Spooked palette from Gourmand Girls. This was done in collaboration with Doodles by the Bunny. I have this on today. Yes, I did film this. It'll come to TikTok first, and then I'll try, like, listen, as soon as I get time to edit it, I'll put it on Instagram, all the things. But I do have a video with this palette, and I think this is the best palette that Gourmand Girls has ever done. It's so good, and it makes me so excited to see what the brand is going to do in the future. The mattes in this palette, very easy to work with, very easy to blend and get full color opacity. I love the shimmers and the shifty shades in here. I think are beautiful. I love that we have a mix of color, neutral, everything. This is just such a great palette. I really, really enjoy it. I love how we have purples and reds and greens and oranges, and they didn't just go with a white, orange, and black theme. I love that they pulled in some fun colors, and I love that we also have some neutrals in here, so you can get colorful or neutral looks or mix them together, which is kind of what I did today. But I really, really enjoy this. I think they did a great job. This palette was sent to me from the brand. If they had not sent it to me, I definitely would have bought this one myself. I think it's so good, and if somebody took this palette from me, I would be on the website repurchasing it. I think it's out of stock right now, but I have seen they keep restocking it, which I think is so, so good. This is really just a beautiful, beautiful palette. Okay, ColourPop C-3PO. I said in my video, the only way that I bought this palette was because it's Star Wars, and I think that's so fun, and I wanted to put C-3PO next to his friends in my collection. You know, I have the Darth Vader palette, I have the Mandalorian palette, I have the Star Wars palette, I have the Grogu palette, the child, whatever they call it. I needed this in my collection. If this palette was not Star Wars themes, I would not have bought it. I mean, it is what it is. I think this is fun though. This is really pretty yellow, golds, and neutral browns. I really like the look I did with this. I do like that we have this light sparkly shade up here that's more of a Super Shock formula. I really like that we have a deep dark matte brown. I think this is really pretty. If this was not Star Wars, I wouldn't have bought it. But because it is C-3PO, I would buy it again if it were gone from my collection, because it is what it is. Like, the packaging sold me, and sometimes that is okay. It is okay to buy things we like that makes us happy, even if we're not going to get a lot of use out of it. I feel like a lot of times, like, if you only get joy out of using your makeup, That's wonderful. I get joy out of like having this. I like having C-3PO. I like seeing it in my collection. The shadows inside are really pretty too. The formulas are super nice. It's just not one I reach for a ton. When I create a neutral look, this isn't the one that I immediately think of, but I'm happy to have it. If I didn't have it, I would buy it again because I love him. So cute. It says, oh my. I just think that is adorable. Okay, let's talk about BPerfect Cosmetics Reign palette. This is a very cool palette. Now, this has pressed glitters in here that aren't my favorite, but that's fine. I think when palettes are done in collaboration with the creator should stay true to themselves. I do feel like I prefer the BPerfect formula in the Carnival palettes. Those are more my preference. I really like that formula a bit better. And I will say, although this palette is really pretty, I don't think I need it. I don't think it's one that I would repurchase again. Even if it launched today, I just don't know that I need it. I did do a video, 3 looks, I'm pretty sure, here on my channel using this palette, so I do think it's really nice. I really like the looks that I created in that video, but I'm kind of done with BPerfect and rainbow palettes. I say that, who knows, you know, they still may be doing like Carnival 5000 in a few years. I'll probably still buy it. I love the Carnival palettes, but this one I don't think I would repurchase, although I am happy that I got to try it out. Natasha Denona, yes, I'm gonna repurchase. Natasha Denona makes some of my favorite formulas. I love the brand, but I pulled this retro palette because this is beautiful. And when I have people that ask me for a good pinky mauve with a neutral palette, which a lot of people really like, this is the palette that I steer them towards because it is pricey. I want to say this is in the $65 to $70 range. I think this is very user-friendly for people who don't do makeup all the time like I do, and I also think it's something that a makeup lover like myself likes. You have just enough neutrals in here that you can create neutral looks, but you also have some really special shades that I think even new people to makeup will really enjoy. Like this shade right here, Psychedelic. It is so sparkly. I think people really have fun with that shade. We have her cream to powder formula in here, which I love to either use on its own or to use as a base for shadows. And we have some really soft metallics in here that look flattering on every lid. I just think this is such a great palette. And again, it's one of those palettes that if you love color, I think you'll like it. If you love neutrals, I think you'll like it. I just think it's so pretty. It's really, really pretty. It's that great Natasha Denona formula. I love that we have options in this palette. You can deepen up the outer corner. You can highlight the inner corner. You can create simple mid-tone looks, deep, dark, dramatic looks. It just has options, and I love options. Last but not least, I pulled the By Beauty Bay Jade palette. Now, I think a lot of people shied away from this because it's such a huge palette, and I don't know if it's available anymore. I know it's on sale for a while, but this palette was so good. It was that great Beauty Bay formula that we love with a really fun twist on a rainbow palette. I say a twist because, like, we have not like just a true yellow, but almost this neon green yellow. I thought that was really fun. I love the inclusion of the hot pinks. I love that we have some beautiful earthy tones down here. Instead of like a Kelly green to make this a rainbow palette, we have these grungy earthy greens, and we have neutrals too. It's just, yeah, it's a fun twist on the rainbow palette. We have the red, the orange, the yellow, the green, the indigo, the blue, the violet. Like, we have all of that, but in different tones. We also have some really pretty duochromes in this palette. So if you liked the Beauty Bay shadows, you would definitely have liked this. The color story was so good. I know it's huge, and like I said, I know it's rainbow, but they just put such a fun twist on the rainbow, in my opinion. I like this little section right here. I like this little section. It's really good. It's a really good palette. I really enjoyed every single look I created with this palette. All right, y'all, I had fun doing this video. Let me know, are you still interested in videos like this? Would you like me to continue shopping my stash, talking about palettes? I really enjoyed it. And let me know, do you have these palettes? And if so, would you repurchase them again? Are there any that you don't have that maybe you're considering now? Are you gonna shop your stash, see what you have? I think it's really fun. I will link to everything that's on my face, but let me tell you too, because future Heather may forget. On my lips, I'm wearing Unearthly Cosmetics Satin Liquid Lipsticks in Danielle and Amber. I just kind of put Amber more toward the center, Danielle more toward the outer corners. I'm wearing Lilly lashes in the style Mykonos. I'm wearing my Sigma Single Bronzer, my Melt Cream Blushlight, let's see, in the shade Pinched. And then for highlighter, I'm wearing my Oracle Chrome Highlighter Palette in this one. Yeah, this is the one I went on with today, the Moon. So that's all I've got for you today. I hope you're having an awesome day. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, and I will see you soon. Bye.